So I've always said American politics is not an action but a reaction. People are always voting against whoever's in power. Presidents usually lose congressional seats in the midterms. And given the reaction that Trump has stirred up the first 100 days in office, Democrats in 2026 forget about a blue wave. You're talking about a blue tsunami. And what that means is that we need candidates to run in every single race. I absolutely believe that, and there's signs that the Democratic Party themselves believe that too, because you saw where Dick Durbin this week, he's not seeking re-election. He's finally getting out of the way and making room for somebody new. So he's a pretty safe seat, and he's going to be like, okay, now's a great time for somebody new to take this over. I wish Chuck Schumer was doing the same thing. I wish he was getting out of the way and letting AOC run for Senate. Other seats that you might not think Democrats have a good shot at, they do. Should Sherrod Brown run for the Senate seat in Ohio? Absolutely. Should John Tester run for the Senate seat in Montana? Absolutely. Should Andy Beshear run for the Senate seat in Kentucky? Absolutely. We have a good shot at flipping even difficult seats. I'm not just talking about Susan Collins in Maine and Tom Tillis in North Carolina, which we have a better than average shot of picking up. I'm talking about difficult ones, and that would even include Tommy Tuberville in Alabama, where I would like to see somebody legitimate and good and qualified, not just the construction worker who spoke at the DNC. I've been fooled by Trump several times, but no, you're not going to fool me 3 times. Now I'm a Democratic candidate for Senate. I mean really good people that are qualified and can actually put forth a legitimate case. In Alabama, for example, in 2024, 3 different congressional races did not have a Democratic candidate. Several Republican congressmen just walked into re-election because the Democrats didn't even bother to put up a candidate. We have to put up candidates in every single race, congressional and Senate, and of course, governor and some of the statewide races where we don't even bother to field candidates sometimes. We need to put people up for every race that there is to strengthen us across the board and get people to vote. They won't all win. A lot of them will lose. But if you get a coalition of enough voters, be like, oh, I really like this lieutenant governor candidate, I'll show up and vote for other people. Because what's going to happen is Trump's not on the ballot. So his cult is not going to show up. And all the people that hate Trump and are like really furious with the mood of the country, which by then he should have surely caused a massive recession, they're going to flood in. A state like Alabama, where they take in more federal dollars than they pay out, where they're one of the 5 poorest states in the country, all the government cuts to government programs and government jobs. You get Katie Britt practically begging him, please don't cut UAB's funding. This is one of the largest employers in the state. They're going to be furious with him, and it's going to be a good time to put somebody new in there. Trump gets an unusually high number of what are called bullet ballots, where people go in and they just mark his name and they don't fill out anything down ballot, but he won't even be there for them to do that. They'll stay home. And the people that despise him, you can get more Democratic senators in the Southeast and even more Democratic representatives in the House. It should be easy for us to flip both chambers in 2026, but only if you put up the best possible candidates for each one of these races.